The American Space Agency NASA sent a scientific expedition team and landed on the Acidalia Plain on Mars to explore the traces of glaciers and oceans. Unexpectedly, a superstorm suddenly blew in the distance. According to computer calculations, this storm will produce a force of 8,600 newtons, while their return capsule can only withstand a maximum of 7,005. So Captain Lewis immediately decided to terminate the mission and take off and evacuate before the return capsule was destroyed. But in the process, teammate Mark was unfortunately concentrated by the satellite antenna on the ground. Some disappeared in the storm. Louis wanted to take the risk to save him, but his teammates reminded him that the signal sent back showed that Mark's rainline symbol had been damaged and lost any life characteristics. Therefore, taking the risk to find it now not only meaningless, but also easily risking the lives of others. So the original 6-member scientific expedition team ended up with only 5 people on the return capsule and returned to the spacecraft in the orbit of Mars. Since there were no conditions for landing again, Mark's body could only be left on Mars like this, while the other couples returned to Earth with guilt. The Earth headquarters also held a press conference soon. The whole world announced that astronaut Mark had sacrificed because once people were exposed to Mars, even if you were as strong as an elephant, you couldn't live for a minute. But no one would think that Mark's life was not an ordinary life. Although the antenna pierced his feather charm, it also just blocked the gap and didn't let oxygen loose. The reason why his friend couldn't receive his life signal was only because his biomonitor was broken, so now Mark was confused. But the priority now is definitely not to curse the street. Instead, you have to go back to the residential factory first and treat your wounds. After the bandaging, Mark turned on the camera and analyzed his current situation while recording. First of all, he couldn't contact the Earth because the communication antenna had been destroyed by the storm. Now he could only wait far away for LASA to carry out the next Mars landing mission and then hitch a ride back. But the problem is that according to LASA's timetable, the next mission is called Ares 4 and it will take 4 years to arrive on Mars. The temporary residential module where Mark now lives has a designed life of only 31 days. Even if God blesses him and his luck is off the charts, this residential module, the dense line support system, also has a water circulation device which can last for 4 years. In the end, he will starve to death because there is no food, because he has already calculated the food that NASA originally provided for their 6-member team. Even if he tightens his waist and allows him to eat alone, it will only be enough to last for about a year at most. So what should he do for the remaining 3 years? Finally, when Mark was pooping, he had a flash of inspiration and came up with a brilliant idea. That is, there was not enough food for his father to wash it.